Hi there, I hope this video finds you well and happy. Good coffee this evening, absolutely delicious. This video may be rather long, so if you're not into long videos, I'm just letting you know ahead of time. I am doing a collage tribute to Beltane tonight. It's now Beltane, April 30th, and on into May 1st, and it is one of the 4 high holidays in the pagan calendar. It is halfway between the beginning of spring and the beginning of summer, and it's all about summer coming. It's all about the first harvest, the new animals, and the fields that are getting growing better and better with the sun that's staying longer and getting hotter and so on. It's a festival of life and love and fertility and all the bounty and abundance of summer. And it's celebrated in a few different ways. There are family celebrations, there are couples celebrations. Beltane can be very romantic with the Beltane fires and so on. But Beltane is a fun holiday. It's lots of food and lots of laughter, and people have just started their, in the farming days, in pagan days, the summer work was starting. And so they took advantage of this time to have fun, to relax, to couple up, to, there were lots of babes born from Beltane fires, which meant they were born 9 months later. And they were considered very lucky children, very blessed children to be born from the Beltane fires. Very blessed. So, with that in mind, I'm doing a collage page dedicated to Beltane, and so I've got a friend of mine asked me to do a quick flip of I have a little bit better light now, so maybe that's it, but she wanted to know if I would do a quick flip of my Book of Shadows, so I surely will. I won't dawdle at any one particular page. It's just a glance through. I've got the personal sections paper clipped off, things that are just for me. And the herb section, I need to add some things. I've got some herbs missing. It's really sort of, I have my pagan journal, yes, the one I did the video about, but I still put a lot of stuff in here that maybe most people wouldn't put in their formal Book of Shadows. I put pictures in here that I love. I paint pictures. I've even been known to doodle in my Book of Shadows. So, and I try and add sparkle where I can because I love sparkle. There were years when my eyesight was gone, where I was legally blind, where I couldn't see things like sparkle. So now I add it to a lot of things. See, there's pictures, 2 pictures of eggs I found in a National Geographic, but they're so pretty, and eggs are such a part of some of the pagan festivals and so on that I added them to my book. All these lovely tea-stained pages, days of the week, fall, some things there, some personal stuff in there. There's the lost items, Sow Abundance, another sort of personal section, frogs and toads, and I found a picture that's just adorable. See that little guy right there? I found a picture and put it on the back of the frogs and toads page. And just pictures I think are gorgeous. Start of a rune section, more personal stuff. Don't show the binding spells. The muse, to call a muse. I love this picture, so I just left writing space behind it. And a sleep work. That one I glued down. Broom cleanse. to summon a spirit. What else? And here we are at the pages that I'm going to work on tonight. And of course, because Beltane is all about growth and flowers and things like that, we have got flowers. We've got representations of the Beltane fire. I've got some sun pick. Well, you'll see it all anyway. And I've got the two coins of luck. And instead of using actual minted coins, I'm using the coins that I made out of pages from Great Expectations, Charles Dickens' Great Expectations. I thought that was actually perfect for Beltane, because Beltane is a time of expectation of growth, expectation of fertility of the fields, and so on. So the two herbs I decided to use based on the time of year is elderflowers and lavender. And these bottles, in case you're wondering, are part of an old vintage. It was a salad dressing. It sits behind me up on my shelf. I just can't move the camera right now, and it's a frame that holds, I think, 8 of these bottles. And it used to hold things like oil and vinegar and different dressings and spice to go in the middle of your table. But I found it at an antique store, and I love the bottles and stuff, so I keep the mostly used herbs in there. So we have elderflower and we have lavender, which are going to be incorporated into this collage in some way. Like I said, it may take some time. Now, I do have a picture of Venus, because Venus is a time of Beltane. She is associated with that time of year and of the Beltane festivals. She has everything to do with, I believe it's elderflower that's ruled by Venus, and then lavender that's Mars. So we've got the perfect balance of male and female, perfect at Beltane, of course. And I'm going to start with some collage of the flower patterns I have in napkins. So I don't know how I'm going to do this. You'll have to be patient. I didn't make any plans. I just grabbed some napkins and decided to sort of go for it. But I secured my pages because they are perforated pages. I secured this side of the perf with some pretty washi tape for spring, or for Beltane. Now we need to mix up some magic glue, and we need a little bit of water, about that much, and some Mod Podge, about that much, and then I'll add the clear glue to it. I prepared my pages. They don't look as dark as the other pages in my Book of Shadows. They were as dark. They were tea stained, but I did put some matte medium on them to lighten them up a little bit, so that my tissue flowers wouldn't just disappear completely into the tea stained pages, because these flowers could actually just disappear into those tea-stained pages. So what are your, what preparations do you do for the holiday, and you know, what does it mean to you? I guess people living in the southern hemisphere, where now they are heading in toward fall season, must be weird to have Samhain in the spring like that. That's got to be kind of an odd, I guess it's like Christmas in the summer, huh? So okay, so I'm just going to start applying these. I'm not sure in what way I want to do them. Some of these may be over here. Oh, I want to put that butterfly at the bottom there. Oh, I think that's a beautiful napkin. We'll start with that one. Yeah, that's a good place to start. Yes. So Beltane is celebrated on the eve of April 30th, and into May 1st. Much of Europe celebrated it with a Maypole dance where there are ribbons wrapped around the maypole. And then the evening wore on so that even in the time when the Catholic Church was at its strongest, the pairing happened in in the countryside where couples would sort of be sitting by the fire and then suddenly they'd be, they wouldn't be seen like sometimes the way that people have, beach parties and things where couples just sort of wander off to their own thing. And that's part of Beltane. That's why when a babe is born 9 months later, it's considered very lucky, because this is a very lucky time of year. It's all about growth and abundance and new things, new tastes that we haven't had for the winter. I mean, in the old days, summer brings on a whole range of fresh foods, fruits and vegetables and cheeses and so on, that you couldn't make in the wintertime. You couldn't, they had nowhere to buy them. They had to rely on what they grew. And the summertime stuff was, they waited to preserve a lot of it and things like that. And honestly, I think that the world is going to see itself getting back to some of that again. I think that we've had quite an eye-opener as to what we tend to rely on too much with this past couple of months. Too much reliant on other people bringing us goods and so on. During World War II, which no, I was not alive for, during World War II, they had what was called victory gardens. And everybody planted their front lawns. Instead of having grass and lawns, they had gardens. They had planted flowers and gardens, things like that. And that's not a bad idea. I mean, if every family, the government provided the seeds in those days, and if we were provided with seeds and a way to rent a rototiller, I'd gladly plant my front lawn as a garden too. So that would be fine by me. Now, some neighborhoods, it's hard enough back in my neighborhood here where all these lovely senior Italian folks put in these beautiful gardens full of peppers and tomatoes and these vegetables, right? And unless they have a dog in the yard, there's a lot of theft over the alley fences, the lane fences. And it's too bad, because people just don't know what privacy means anymore, it seems. And don't I sound old saying that? But it's true. It's how I feel. I hope that's the right way. I don't know if that's the right way. Shoot. Well, I have got myself in a pickle because I have no idea which is the right way on this. So, we just lay it in there and call it a day, shall we? I'm going to leave a little overhang so I can trim it off afterwards. One of my favorite Beltane memories was when I was going to university. I went as a single mom. I had already had a child when I went through university, and I had a whole bunch of people over for a dinner. It was a potluck dinner. People brought stuff, and I made a couple of dishes from the old. I had this recipe book that was medieval recipes and so on, and it was pottage. It was a meat and cheese and heavy bread pottage. It was just delicious, and we had that and fresh veg, and it was wonderful. It was a really fun evening. I thoroughly enjoyed myself, and my guests all said they did too, so that was a lot of fun. I lived just across, at the time I lived just across from the university, so they didn't have far to go, and we were done early, but not too early. We had a wonderful time, but didn't overdo it. It was absolutely lovely. There, that's 3 placed so far. So let's see what else we can do here. I don't know how this is going to turn out, folks. I have absolutely no plans. All I know is that I wanted to do some kind of tribute to this holiday because it's one of my favorites. You know, I love all the holidays, but this is a particular favorite of mine because of some past memories and wonderful memories. And so I'd like to honor it this year with some art. And as I said, when I'm filming collaging, it seems to go quicker. And to be honest with you folks, I seem to get stuck sometimes. And so then I have to go back and finish the actual picture and show you later, you know. So that is kind of a little bit embarrassing, but hey, you know, even if I get it to a certain point and I have fun doing it and you enjoy watching it, isn't that all that matters? Look at those flowers. They're gorgeous. Gorgeous. I don't want to cover up I think I'm going to have to cut off the tall one. Yeah, I think that may be an issue. Boop. We'll just take that one right out of there. Maybe put her somewhere else. Who knows? So, let's lay that right in there. Okay. It's getting warmer here too. It's warming up rather quickly. I wasn't expecting it to get into these temperatures this soon. We were having a rather cold spring. It was snowing like a week ago, less than a week ago. It wasn't staying. It was landing on the ground and not staying for sure, but it was snowing. It was still snowing. So share some of your best Beltane memories in the comments below, and let us enjoy them with you. Or if they're, you know, sad or anything and you want to share, poignant, we're all friends here. Yep. Now I also have lettering for the page. I haven't decided which lettering I want to do. This is why I want to do some live chats, because then you guys could help me decide this stuff, you know. I wonder if this could go up here in the corner. Gosh, I tend to rip more stuff than I cut. Believe it or not, I mean, I know it sounds weird, but scissors now and then get on my nerves. It's like they won't do what I want them to do sometimes. Sounds weird, hey? Yeah. I know. Let's take some of this off, too. That extra doesn't need to be there. All right. We'll go this way and lay it on there. I hope that you all enjoy some art or creativity, whatever it is you like to do. Music, anything creative that you do is a lovely addition to your holiday celebrations. If nothing else, I mean truly, if nothing else, and let's make sure that doesn't overlap there, because that's a tea-stained edge, so I'm going to keep it nice and raw. If nothing else, pagan and old practices had a lot to do with the arts, not the arts the way we know them, but dancing and singing and crafts, and you know, it was the festivals at which everybody admired, you know, the things that you could do and the things that you contributed, you know, to the community as a whole, you know. Oh, I like that. I have one here though that's really pretty. I was going to use, it's a teacup. I love that. Maybe if I just did the teacup though, but it wouldn't. It would disappear on the page now, so I think I'll leave that for another project. At this point in time, I'm kind of loving what it looks like right now, to be honest with you. Kind of loving it. As far as my background is concerned, as far as this part is concerned. Now the herbs will be the last to go on. Let's add some of these little bits that I have set aside. I don't know if I want to add this particular butterfly or not. Not sure. Doesn't seem to fit really well. But wine was very much, or is very much, a part of the past celebrations of Beltane as well as the current celebrations. So I did want to add some representation of the glorious grape, which is of course delicious wine. I don't drink very often, but when I do, I really enjoy a moderate and delicious wine. So this, stands in good stead with me. There we go. So the wine, and we'll add a wine bottle. That would sit lovely right there. Right there. There we go. That's looking nicer and nicer and nicer. And I have a spare butterfly that I cut from one of the, and I can pretty much put him anywhere. How do I know it's a him? I don't. Is there gender in butterflies? See, that's how much I listened in science class. Moths and butterflies, is there a gender to them? I guess not. Insects, eggs, cocoons, and all that stuff. I have no idea what I'm talking about, folks. I do love that saying, though. What the master, or what the caterpillar calls the end of the world, the master calls a butterfly. Isn't that beautiful? Okay, so I can put that right there and be quite happy with her right there. And I have to make sure that I get all this washi covered up because it stays on much better that way, folks. I do two things with my washi tape if it's supposed to be a permanent part of anything I'm making, a page or whatever. Firstly, I glue it down. I don't depend on the glue that's on the back of the washi. And secondly, when I can, I actually Mod Podge it in or brush glue over it because it does make it much more durable. Much more durable. Okay, so we need to put the coins in. I'm not sure where to put those, although they would look cute right down there in the corner, and it wouldn't get in the way of my writing on the next page or pages underneath that. Okay, so I'll add those coins later. Now, what I've got, I don't know which lettering I'm going to use. I have all kinds of choices. I have these cool letters, which are all different sparkly ones. These here. I can make the word Beltane out of them quite easily. I have enough for those. Whoops, right onto the wet. And then I have these really cool kind of, I don't know, abstract lettering, if you will. I'm not sure what to call it. And I've got enough. I checked yesterday before I put this video, before I decided on this, and I've got enough to spell it out. I also have 3 colors of sparkle or, fake gem, which could actually be very pretty with the flower motif. So I'll think on that for the next few minutes, and we'll see what we're doing from there. Let's see. I was going to go through the pictures that I had picked out. Now I have some bunches of flowers on a person that I used the other person for a collage a couple of weeks ago. And I have representations of lanterns from an old Scentsy book catalog. And I have the sun, which I think is the one I'm going to use, is the sun for the Beltane fire. So I think that's for sure. And then I had picked out some music, because music and Beltane fires and dancing was all part of it. And the Venus, because she is most definitely a part of Beltane. Venus, the goddess of love, whatever was the equivalent goddess, and so on, in whichever culture you talk about. But most pagan cultures have a Beltane celebration of some sort. Now, I had picked out a bride as well, because it's very much a month of getting together, of engagements, of coupling, and so on. And then I picked out some other flower patterns, some foods. A lot of this I'm not going to include now, because this looks so pretty with just what's on the page so far. I don't want to overdo it and change the mood of the page. Now, she can come away on her own. I'm fine with her being quite small. Cut it out! You stop. The cat is scratching the back of my chair, the material on the back. They go after my dreads when they hang down the back of the chair. They're quite long, and they go after them when they hang down the back. Where would she sit the nicest? She really seems to fit color-wise. I do a lot by color. It's probably not the best, most artistic way, but I love being color blended. I love that. And she seems to fit color-wise best up here. Okay, so a little bit of fussy cut. Where are my scissors? Little bit of fussy cutting around her hair. And so she will fit into that better. Sometimes I do what everybody calls fussy cutting, which is cutting stuff out, but it takes a while because it's all scissor work. And I do that often when I'm watching, videos and stuff that I'm catching up on. So I like doing that. Alright, let's see if that works. Oh, much better. Okay, we're going to sit her right there. Right there, right there, right there. Alright. Good. She works there. Totally works there. I may have to put this under the dryer before I can attach any lettering to it. I'm not sure. But if that's the case, I won't make you wait all that time. And I'll do the lettering and then show you on the next video. That's easy enough to do. Okay, what was the next thing? We had some music. We need some music, because music at Beltane is everything. Again, see, I ripped my pages. I love the look of the ripped edges, to be honest with you. To me, they just look better on collage than get out. No, not now, socks. Thank you. Oh. There you go. Not right now, baby. Sorry. I don't know which lettering I want to use. I'm really torn because I love the glittery lettering, but it's not, it's a little bit too bright. Okay, now we need the sun. This has to come in to play somewhere, and I think that it will sit in the corner. I do believe it will sit in the corner. Maybe it should rip. Okay, I'm going to hang that over the edge because I want it to be at the edge of the page, looking like it's part of the edge there. So I'm going to do it so that it's almost to the edge of my my page. I just won't cover up the tea-stained corners like that. It just looks better with the tea-stained edges left as is. So I didn't need very much, so I'll do this, and it's this half I want stuck to the page, so right about there, and okay. So I think it's only the lettering that I have to leave based on, what I'm seeing right now. I think it's only the lettering that I'm going to have to delay on, because frankly I can't decide which lettering I like the best. But I absolutely promise that I will show you on the next video once I make that decision. I have a couple of other lettering choices that I could use at some point. Now, okay, so we'll sit the 2 coins right there, which is a good spot for them. They don't interfere with my work. One is to represent the past, and one is to represent the future. You don't need a coin to represent the present because you live in it and should be spending every moment as though it's precious, precious time. That is the story behind the coins. So what I will do is I will glue those down. There we go. And then some on both. There we go. And then for an extra double whammy, we will collage paint over them. Lots and lots of glue on these old pages, and it works a treat. There we go. Perfect. Perfect. Okay, so the only thing left to do that we can do tonight, because I can't decide which beautiful lettering I want, frankly, so I'm going to have to make that decision. I just don't want to make it right now. I can't. I think a couple of them are really pretty, and then I have another one that's totally awesome. So I'm going to take another look at that. It would take too long and be very boring while I decided on a video, and I'll do the trimming and so on. I need to let it dry, but I want to incorporate our 2 herbs into the page. That's important to me. So what I will do is create a small dot here and spread it out, and a small dot here and spread it out. And that is where I will tuck some herbs. Lavender. Oh, the smell is grand. Absolutely grand. Lavender. Always a good part of a Beltane celebration. Actually, to be honest with you, lavender is one of my favorite parts of almost every one of the holidays. I absolutely love it. I don't like the fake smells of lavender. To me, they still haven't really touched on a perfume that matches when you crush those flowers. Oh my God, the smell is just unreal. I love it. And you can't get a fake lavender that smells good. So that's what bothers me. And the elderflower has a lovely, it's a really, it's almost a cross between like a cedar and a roasted nut of some sort. Maybe an acorn. It smells a bit like an acorn. So we'll add some elderflower there onto the page. And then we have to put a dollop of glue over it, otherwise we lose our herbs, and that's okay. They're not there meant to smell or anything. They are there for their contribution to the page. My honoring Beltane this year, because this year is incredible, absolutely incredible. No matter what's happening in the world, this year has been incredible. So I will take my palette knife. And I will push those down into the glue. There we go. There we go. And then I am going to lift the center of my page because I don't want it sitting crooked when I pour some glue on there. And right now it's sitting. There we go. Okay, so let's just add a little tiny bit of clear glue there. There we go, and that'll sink in. Works every time. And I'll let you know what that looks like when I see you again. So, this is my Beltane page. There we go. And there we go. Yep. Okay. So, to you and yours, may you have an absolutely beautiful Beltane. May you have a gorgeous May 1st, and may your month of May be beautiful and productive and everything you would like it to be. Cheers.